very good evening. A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to the 1873 TV, your vision, your power. Yet again, another exciting and informative show that we bring on the Africa One. A conversation with Mutumwa Mawere as well as Kenywe. A very good evening, Mr. Mawere.
Good evening, Tinashe.
Good evening, Kenywe.
Good evening, family.
How have you been today?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, like I literally read the article again because I was like, I just could not get enough yesterday. So, can Africa's brand ambassador please stand up? If you want to find out where the article is, mmawere.com. That's where you're going to find a list of articles. In this one, we're doing part 2 of this one, right? Because we tackled part 1 yesterday.
Yes, and today is part 2 of the conversation. A very interesting conversation, I must say, considering that Africa itself, when you look up from the sky at night, what is it that you see?
Yes.
And if you look at America, what is it that you see? If you look at Europe, what is it that you see? And when you look at Asia, what is it that you see? Often the challenge is that because Africa, the triple challenges, unemployment, inequality, and poverty, they're often blamed on bad leadership or lack of leadership. But where are the brand ambassadors of Africa?
Standing up and actually pulling their own wagon. Yes.
So to help us better unpack this aspect, Mr. Mawere will be having a conversation with him, and he will be able to unpack this article that he authored back in August of 2007, and it was posted on the 27th of August, by the way. So on the 27th of August 2017, this article will be exactly 10 years actually.
And in case you're wondering who you're talking to, he's incredible. He's very much credible because he's an all-round businessman, business executive, pioneer, financier, banker, entrepreneur. The list goes on. He's a critical thinker. Can we just get to it? Because it's too much. I can't keep up.
And one thing I love about this article, though, is that it speaks not just to myself. It speaks to many people who happen to be in the diaspora.
Yeah.
Just as I am. I left Zimbabwe for South Africa in search for a better life. But where am I standing at this very moment? Am I telling the story that needs to be told so that we can be able to build the Africa we all want?
Yes. Rise up. Are you an ambassador?
So, just to recap from where we left off yesterday, and just the lessons that we drew as far as yesterday's discussion are concerned. Maybe for the benefit of our viewers, can you just touch a bit on what the lessons that you drew from yesterday's conversation?
Thank goodness you asked this question. One thing, I remember I posed a question to Ms. Mawere, and I asked that, how can one become an African ambassador? How can one better themselves? And Mr. Mawere's response, likewise, he said that, number 1, do away with the notion that you are an African. Just do away with it, because you are a human being who belongs in the human race. And because we are equal, therefore let's celebrate the differences. And the differences, we need all these differences because we complement each other. We need to complement each other. Because sometimes one may say, yeah, we're equal but different. Why should we be different? Why can't we be the same? No, we're different because we need to complement each other. So number 1, let's start with the mind. Let's internalize it and just do away with notions, do away with all these things and just shift. And for me, that stood out. So now I wonder what we're going to learn, because sure, yesterday I just went home and my mind was exploding and I just sat back and I literally just had to digest everything. So yeah.
So if you're wondering where you can get the article, all you have to do is go to Google Africa Brand Ambassador Mawere, and the article will come out. Or simply go to mmawere.com/article/59. So we are now on paragraph 5. We left off, we had completed paragraph 4 yesterday. We are now on paragraph 5.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 speaks of India, China, and other new industrializing countries have their own indigenous ambassadors. Colonial Africa invested in its own demise through the missionaries who armed future revolutionaries with toxic knowledge, and the end of colonialism was therefore predictable, once the natives had been given the opportunity to read and write without being given an environment to practice their trades. Evidence available suggests that post-colonial Africa has invested substantially in building the continent's human capacity that is well recognized in developed states that have been able to assimilate such skills to advantage.
Yes.
And what is noteworthy is the mention of India, the mention of China, and other newly industrializing countries. Among those, you think of Malaysia, you think of Singapore. And lately on the Continental Sunrise Breakfast Show, we were looking at drawing lessons from several individuals, some who happen to be Indian, some who happen to be Chinese, some who happen to be Malaysians. They were all mixed as far as identity is concerned when people see them from the outside, drawing lessons on leadership, drawing lessons on entrepreneurship, on identity, just to mention a few. And 10 years later, 10 years ago, this is what Mr. Mawere is speaking. But it's something that we are now
still relevant.
Still very relevant. They have their own indigenous ambassadors. And surely I cannot dispute that. But it is also great that we have Mr. Mawere to actually unpack this aspect with us this evening. Just looking at this aspect, Mr. Mawere, the Indian, the Chinese, and other newly industrializing countries who have their own indigenous ambassadors. Which other countries can we think of, and which individuals can we say that particular individual is maybe Indian or Chinese, is a brand ambassador of China or India or in other
countries? Because I think most often we complain about imperialism, colonialism, and then we put the skin color in imperialism. So when you talk of imperialist, you are invariably talking about white people. When you talk about progress, prosperity, empowerment, you are in fact saying, I must take away from white people because they're white. But if they were Chinese, I would say they're brothers, they're comrades, they assisted us in our liberation struggle. But the act of extracting resources is not Chinese, it's not Indian. So most of these countries, some of them don't even have to speak English to be prosperous. You can go to the Middle East, only 30 years ago, somewhere just deserts with camels moving around. Today, these addresses have become global addresses, airlines. Whoever thought Emirates? What is Emirates? Whoever thought Qatar Airways? Abu Dhabi or what? Etihad would have an airline that is competitive. And most people say, I'm going to London, go through Dubai. Imagine just to pass through Dubai. How many airports are alive in Africa with no planes coming? With no passengers willing to visit? Yet people would rush to a desert. And then you say, okay, this desert, how did it become so attractive? Was it because of white people? Was it because of colonialism? Then you turn back the clock to 1957, Ghana getting its independence. Then you turn the clock back to South Korea. Imagine you're using Samsung. The name itself means something. But these are indigenous people, Samsung. They didn't have to change the name to be something that it is not. They didn't have to change Panasonic, Sony to be something else. So those who like their native language produce a product that people can associate with. You never know, you can actually call it something else and send your language globally. And what's in a name? What's in a face? But surely in Africa, they say, well, out of 1.2 billion people, who do we look up to? India, they have their own icons. If you look at the stars, There are many Indian styles. You look at African darkness. Who caused it after 60 years? Can you blame the British? Imagine you talk to a 60-year-old Ghanaian and he's telling you about the pain of 60 plus years. He has no recollection that he's been alive for 60 years. What he's got a recollection of is what happened to people that were relevant and alive before the person was born. And that's what we become experts at talking about, colonialism. So what we're talking about, Africa, where Dangote, yes. But what does Dangote believe in?
What do you have to say to...
My God, there are many billionaires in Africa. Have you ever seen them sitting together, being angry? To say, not in the name of Africa, we are here. Imagine I go to the city called Seoul in Korea. Then I start supplying chlorine to the municipality of Seoul. How long will they take to know that there's a black man supplying chlorine?
But what do you have to say to that person or individual that associates success or wealth creation with gender, race, and exceptionalism?
Yeah, if there's a law of gravity, imagine you are the majority people. You are 50 out of 56 million people, and you are black. And you are intimidated by 6 million people. Huh? How would that play? So for you to be able to be disadvantaged, imagine I go to Korea, I find the black people from Nigeria controlling the streets of the capital city. Then I'm crying out, the Koreans are crying that they want Korean economic empowerment. Have you ever heard that word? Huh? Or Chinese economic empowerment. They just do it because they're the majority. If we wanted to sell toothpaste today, and assume we want to clean our teeth, who would have the last laugh? Where is the majority? If you say sugar, who drinks more sugar? Who drinks more Coca-Cola? Black people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're the ones who are complaining about the people who supply them. So imagine we constituted ourselves the majority consumers.
You know, there's a certain excerpt that I read from the article.
Yeah.
And it says, for Africa to build a continent that is safer, secure, more comfortable, dynamic, innovative, and productive, it is incumbent
It is incumbent.
Yeah, yes. Oh, jeez. Yatini. Upon all of us to play our part without expecting others to do what we are not willing to do ourselves. Yes, so how do we go about shifting from this victim mentality?
First, you must accept that life does not confer victimhood. Life does not put you in a group thinking. Imagine what you are thinking, the question you have asked, Tinashe had the same question. Then we group you and say it's now 1 + 1 thinking. It becomes 2, which means you stop thinking, he thinks on your behalf. Imagine that civilization of victim. Imagine just for us to say, we black people, where did you become we? Huh? Is it possible for one person to multiply themselves in stupidity? Then you say, because I'm stupid, then we are majority stupid. So you can't group thinking. It's individual, it's personal.
It's critical.
Yeah, but every day you see an African or a human being walking in Africa, you must salute them. It's not easy to be alive.
Yeah. It's always everything.
It was never meant to be
You walk,
easy.
you might fall. Yeah.
And you see someone wearing clothes, and you say, thank God, at least I didn't play a part in your wearing clothes. Then I'm out of it. But imagine you're the welfare system where everyone had to be dressed every morning. Can you imagine that world? Where we are all playing victims.
Sure.
Yeah? How can a victim walk to somewhere? Huh? Because for me to oppress you, you know how expensive it is. Yeah? We were talking earlier about oppression.
Yes, and colonization.
Yeah. The moment I have to oppress you, it means I'm also oppressing myself.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have to keep an eye on you.
Injustice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine you keep an eye on
So
on your wife and how expensive it is. then you say, I have to go to work.
It's so not
And then-
freeing.
No. Then leave your wife you don't trust. Can you imagine what goes on in your head? The cockroaches that invade your mind. Yeah? Just think, what is my wife doing? You phone. Say, no.
The stress level.
Imagine these days with
Brain.
cell phone, because before you knew the person is at home. Then it tells you, no, I'm at home.
You track her.
Video
The
call.
admin.
The
The
admin.
admin for Harvard.
And imagine, once you know, are you going to be the same?
True though.
Yeah, imagine going on someone's WhatsApp.
It's emotionally
Imagine
draining.
going on someone's WhatsApp and invading WhatsApp messages. And then you build a civilization out of what?
Yeah.
Peeping toms. Huh?
Whew.
So you must be content that you are enough. You are not born with minuses. Yeah. Even if you are blind, you are not blind. You may find the people with eyes are the people with problems because they can't see. But blind people can actually see, and they live a full life. Yeah. So sight, yes. But otherwise, what are we dealing with in Africa? We are all competent. But who represents us? If you say DPS, missing in action. Anglo-American, missing in action. This company, missing in action. Yeah? Now we want to invade white dreams. Imagine that my dream is only active when I wake up. I have to be part of something. Imagine I go into government poor and I see the roadmap to something. Who do you trust that government?
You can't trust it.
that,
You're in trouble.
that my CV is the government. That people's money is my money. Yeah? People's dreams is my dreams. That all I need is to be elected, my friend.
That's it.
So I will save money just to be elected. And once I elected, says Mawere, just wait. The day I'm elected, these people will know who I am.
Sure, I like what you said weeks ago.
These are your brand ambassadors. You go to a conference. Who is the minister? This. What are you ministering? You know, in America they call them secretaries.
Yes.
Yeah. You know why?
You can explain, Mr.
Yeah.
You don't even want to answer.
Secretaries, they take minutes.
Take minutes.
So the original idea is that you can't elect a minister. Imagine you trust a human being with your power. They will use it against you, against your interests, without even knowing, because they've never ended. Imagine just an event like a gig called election. Yeah, in the morning you're poor, then the results are announced, then your president so and so. Hey, it's now untouchable. Now you become expert on nuclear physics, expert on dam construction.
Yes.
And you call it democracy. Yeah.
But I remember when we had a conversation weeks ago, and you're like, the idea of white privilege is a bit pervasive.
Yeah.
So now we're focusing on these three factors and these three challenges, which is inequality, poverty, and unemployment. So now there's a person thinking, they perceive that white people are to blame or they're the guilty parties. So what's your take with regards to that?
Yeah, you see, the old fingers are there to point. But, if you look really, why would somebody leave Europe to be poor in Africa? Would that make sense?
Wouldn't.
So all these people are just like somebody leaves Eastern Cape to come to Limpopo.
Yeah,
Why would you leave Eastern Cape? Because we're all migrants. We are all looking for greener pastures. Even animals, they move. Without motion, do you have humanity?
Exactly.
All this technology to allow easy movement of people. is actually what life was meant to be. That I can search. The human spirit will always look for the higher ground. Look at what was happening yesterday, guys from Libya, and just using Libya as a bridge to what? To Italy. All they know is that my life would be better off if I cross this. Imagine that there was a bridge on the Mediterranean. You know what would happen? They would shoot people, but they'll still come. And these are Africans like you, born in Africa. And they're saying, I have no future here. Look at an 8-year-old Guatemalan lives home. Where are you going? I'm going to America. Who is in America? America is there. When I arrive in America, at this age, I know my life is bad. If I stay in Guatemala, I'm going to die. But before I die, it's a nightmare. So I have to leave to go somewhere. So these people in Europe also left for the same reason. And they're still in Africa and making a good living out of Africa. Then you have other people who are also born here, black like you and me. They go to Europe and say, I can't stay. I can't even survive in Africa. I had a cousin, he's now late. And he was sick. Took him to Zimbabwe. Within after recovering, he went back to America. So I said, where are you? He says, I'm in you. What are you doing? He says, no, I couldn't adjust. I'm looking for a taxi. You know, things you take for granted. Yeah. But his mind was not to build Africa. He says, when they build it, I'll come. But for now, just excuse me, because I know my people, when I go home, they're not talking about building. They're talking, how do I pull you down fast so that you come into the valley of confusion? Because that's where the poverty is. The majority is like a pyramid. Yeah, it's like a bottleneck. Very few pass through the neck. The rest are at the bottom. And the law of gravity always pushes you to the way the majority. So these ambassadors are endangered species. When they stand up and say, Mr. So-and-so, you find that actually the people who love Africa most and have made a good life out of Africa, they tend to be white.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the black people are still confused about independence. Imagine for 60 years hallucinating.
You know, this question, question I was inspired by, I think, paragraph. Please read, yes, all Facebookers, Zimbabwe Today. This is amazing. Please read like the article at mmawere.com. This was actually inspired by, I think, paragraph 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. So now, how can Africa build and protect its image by using its resources to leverage its position in a globally competitive world?
Yeah. Imagine the resources in Austria, 8.6 million people. The population is bigger than South African economy. Imagine you were the creator, gave them gold, gave them platinum. There would be chaos there. Here we have everything. But now, do we have eyes? So when you say the Africa I want, it's an Africa of people who can think, who can say, oh, there must be something here. We are now in government. Do you need affirmative action? Have you ever seen a word called, is it CEE? You know what that is? Chinese Economic Empowerment. Yeah. Then white economic empowerment. Which address do you go to? Where these white people are conspiring?
Where do you get the money from?
Yeah. So when you look at progress, when you look at commerce, it's around the exchange of value. If you give me a mineral right, but the guys in government are also monetizing. They give you a license, they say, give me cash. And the cash goes into the family problem. Because you have to hide it. On the one hand, you get votes on the basis of being poor. Because how many people think and act on behalf of the poor people? If you ever have a group of people who are so abused, it's the poor. Most politicians want to ride on the back of the poor. Because the back of a rich man, you know how expensive it is. They will shoot you if you want to climb. Say, where are you going? I'm in your wagon. Where to? Stop the wagon and say, my friend, head count. Let me count. Who is in my wagon? What the hell are you doing in my wagon? Huh? Says, I thought I would have an easy ride. Which way?
Why are you focusing on you?
Yeah. You know, that's why they say Obama care. They say this is black man care. Obama became a little good. That's what Trump is saying. That's why I said I have a funeral for Obama care. You know what Trump is saying? The Republicans are saying. They're saying, my friend, if you're going to die, please die without taking my sweat. Don't use my sweat for medicine. Don't use my. Don't say, look, I'm living longer because.
you know, when you're talking about Obamacare, I'm reminded of the conversation we had with regards to Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter.
That's right.
So your take about that?
Yeah, you see, when you look at Mandela and look at all these great people who not great in the sense that they were so extraordinary. They were just ordinary people, just looking at the logic. And if you look at the long arc of the moral universe, it always tends towards something, towards justice, towards prosperity. Not for one, not for skin color. When you say life is a fundamental right of nature, imagine there was a dispensing machine for life. Who would be there? Imagine life was to be given. Who would be there? The rich would be the first applicants. Say, give me a long life because I need it. The poor will say, please shorten my life because it's expensive. But it doesn't work that way. So when we say life, it's life for everybody. Because the person who is poor today need not be poor. You don't know he's studying at night. And you think he's poor. He's corresponding. Then you discover, the next morning he says, I'm a PhD. But where did you get a PhD?
And you were relaxing.
I thought we were together. He said, my friend, together. And we're talking about white problems.
Yeah.
And people advance their interest. You find somebody, meet somebody at the airport without expectation. And tomorrow the life changes.
True.
So there are a lot of life-changing events that take place that are not white or black. So when I say Black Lives Matter, first I must define what is black life. I can have a different skin, but I'm a human being. But the moment we focus on the skin color, then we are saying the brain could also be white. Imagine going to an address where you dissect the brain and you see a black brain and you see a black blood and you say this is a black person. Where is that address? When you donate blood, a black man comes with what? The same blood. So where could be this factory that produces black lives? So if it doesn't exist, why can't we celebrate all lives? One loss is too many.
At the end of the day. Same oxygen.
Same time.
Yeah.
There's no black oxygen.
There's no white oxygen.
Yeah.
It's just oxygen.
Yeah. But if the Africa we want is to be black, it will be a sad day. Because imagine, I'm an Indian thinker, inventor. Then you say must go away. Where to? I would rather say come closer to me. Yeah.
Great value.
Yeah, if we know that whites are living well, let's go closer to them. Guys, tell us, how come you're running? How come you're running fast and we were not moving? Can we move together? Says my friend. What can you do? Then I say, my friend, I can do what? Even a comedian can go to what? Daily Show. I mean,
It's a show.
he's getting millions just to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So you can start your own comedy show.
Your passion into a profession.
On Zim today. Transform Zim today to Africa today. to world today and talk about everything that matters. You find that somebody in Albania, somebody in Serbia is struggling with life. Not black life, not white life. Life was never meant to be easy for anybody. Otherwise, there'll be a PIN number to go to what? To an ATM machine that is made from heaven. You know who would be there? I will finish the cash before 1 hour. So there is no ATM machine. Then there's no PIN number. There's no pass number. Everything that doesn't have a password is cheap. So anything that is exclusive has got value.
This brings back to our title. Can Africa's ambassador please stand up? And earlier on, when we were having a conversation, you mentioned that how can you shift something that you don't own?
Yeah.
You know, you need to have that object first before you can shift it. Therefore, how dare you say, I deserve this loan, I deserve this, I am entitled to
No, they're not even saying I deserve. They're saying I have a better claim on it because I exist. When I'm dead, I have no claim.
So how do we
because I am black, imagine I monetize the gifts of nature without understanding the gifts were given for free. Imagine the creator of all these goodies, minerals, gold, was human. What would happen? There will be chaos. Because I will have to exclude you. But the minerals are open. We are finding the minerals today that were always there 100 years ago. If whites could take the minerals and put them in their back pocket, they would have gone. But we're still finding new mineral deposits. What does that tell you? That the giver is not human. But who now wants to play God or play the creator? These little monsters. You elect him today, and he says, no, I don't want to get out of power because I want to protect you. From what? Imagine land, it's not yours. Can you imagine you go to an address where a human being says, it's my land is mine? Can you imagine? Then you walk out and say, I was talking something sensible. Yeah. Land is mine. Why? Because my friend are black. So if Europe belongs to Europeans, Africa belongs what? To Africa. Then you say, let's go deeper. Who is an African? My friend, you don't know. An African is a son of the soil. What do you mean? That this soil is created.
What will tell you?
Yeah, we came from this mud. Somebody created men out of mud. So that's where I'm coming to the design of life, that we're created to have a better claim on this land. But what is land on its own? What is gold? Imagine, platinum is hidden in rock. Then I go with my hands trying to extract the platinum. Do you think it's a valuable exercise? Huh?
You need to go to the hospital for you to get that platinum.
Yeah. So if I have not found the mineral, what is it worth?
Doesn't it
There's no value.
It has no value. But we're putting value on something we have not put value on. Let's create government, they give permits. You are now a value. Remain there. But don't become greedy. Imagine once I find minerals, then they say, I want to partake. But when I'm looking for them, nobody wants to be my partner. Only when the grass is green, then they say, can we share? When there's
no grass.
When there's no green grass, everybody says, no. What is that? Imagine at the harvest time. Then you see a guy coming. He says, what do you want? He says, I want 30% of the harvest. He says, what? He says, the land is mine, my friend. And the land converted seed into a crop. Are you sure? You are serious African? Yes, I'm serious. Who told you that it was your land? And the government told me, before government was created, whose land was it? There must be a relationship between government and land. So let's go to the address where this relationship began. You elect people that are in government. Then they are created to be what? An ambassadors for God, is it? For the Creator. Because I must be an ambassador. I've given you. What did you give me?
I've given you land.
But I didn't have the land first to give. I was born with no land in my stomach. Now I'm a giver. How many people say, so and so, without so and so, I will not have land? You understand how expensive the argument is? Yes, if we are the majority. Imagine someone has to fly to come and live in our land. We live here, but we don't have a plan. Organization, administration is the first part of what? Yeah. So somebody says the only power that people who don't have power is the power to organize. But are we organized?
That's a very difficult exercise, especially for black people, just organizing.
No, it's special for black people. Even whites are difficult. They kill each other. I mean, the first World War was not African. The second one was
I could feel you there too. You were like, you were feeling it, yeah, but express your views.
Okay, so talk about this African idea. Maybe that's the Africa you want to see.
Well, obviously the Africa I want to see is in Africa where, first and foremost, there is a rule of law.
Okay.
Yes. An inclusive Africa.
Okay.
An Africa that is progressive.
No segregation.
Where there's no segregation. I heard when I said black people, it's human beings that fail to organize themselves. But I think, let me speak for myself and not speak for black people. I find myself.
Personalize it, Tintin.
Yes.
Personalize it.
I cannot speak for somebody else.
Yes.
I can only speak for myself. I find it difficult at times to be organized. And this is one particular thing that I need to learn to do if I am to advance myself. Because I've come to learn that money follows organization itself. Earlier on, Mr. Mawere was speaking that the power that poor people don't have, that people have, especially poor people, is that the power of organizing them.
They can create a president. But imagine a rich man going to vote on behalf of the poor. What kind of election would that be?
So, Mr. Mawere, in paragraph 5, you also went to state that colonial Africa invested its own demise through the missionaries who armed the future revolutionaries with toxic knowledge, and the end of colonialism was therefore predictable. But I just want to touch on this aspect of the missionaries. Who are these missionaries you are referring
No,
to?
they came with, I think, goodwill that enlighten people. Is a powerful person. Ideas. Where do we get them? Knowledge that is created. Let's go to school. Let's learn. Once we learn, we're no longer black. When I become a lawyer, I deal with matters of law. When I'm a doctor, I deal with matters of what? Saving lives. Not black lives, not white lives. That an aspirin is an aspirin. And if I got a headache, it is not a white headache, it's not a black headache.
It's just a headache.
Headache. So you are my doctor. Please do your part. I do my part. So when these missionaries came, they came with the hope that we would rise above our gravitas, which is the poverty gravitas. This idea that I can live and still continue without having a plan of action. So they organized, they trained. All these guys you say, Kwame Nkrumah, whoever, Secretarial, Leopold Senga, these were educated people. Dr. Kamuzu Banda. Yeah. They were educated people. Mandela was a lawyer. He's not remembered as a lawyer. He's remembered as an activist. Why? The same people who educated him, he was turning against him, but sometimes we never understood the values that these guys brought in, which we have now become part of livelihood without us actually negotiating what kind of Africa do we want. Do we want to go back to 1873 Africa? Or we want to be part of this world that is constantly moving, that is being disrupted every day. Today, we can talk to millions of people. 30 years ago, we were talking to ourselves, writing letters, getting it, and every letter comes back. I go to the post office. When was the last time you went to the post office? Now you got a smart screen. Now you think. So this transfer of ideas, that even the Europeans were also like us. They evolved from being like nomads, from being like agricultural based, to being urbanized. When you're in an urban area, I can't look for milk from a cow. I go to the supermarket and buy milk. But in the knowledge that those who produce milk, they will not produce without being paid. So I have to spend my time doing other things in town. So there's exchange of value. So when we're talking about value centricity, that we want an Africa where value is the basis on which we divide each other. When I go to a plane and they say first class, I know it's not my class. They say business class, I know it's my class. I voluntarily exclude myself from things that harm me financially because I don't have the finance. So I accept that economy is the best class. When we arrive, I say I also came from the same position, but we didn't come in the same comfort. Just that, accepting my station in life, that if I want to change my lane, I want to do something different. And that's all people are asking for. If we don't deal with that Christian idea, they come with education. But the most educated people are the most people who undermine the poor. Because they think for you to be rich, you must go through the same pain. Talking other people saying, oh, thought leader. So, but, oh, okay. You want a leader who is educated? Yes. Oh, okay. So after the exam, yes. So which university do I go to be a president? Do you need election? You say, when you dig deeper to some of these people, they say, actually, I don't need, I need to close, like a ladder. When you have gone up, what do? You throw it away, and the people still guess, how do I become president? Say, my friends, that's your job. Yeah. Please find out. Imagine how it should be so easy to know that for you to be president, you need more people who believe that their future is secure with you. But when you get the power, you run away on your own. Then you leave them guessing for another 5 years. Huh?
I like that you touch base on the importance of being organization and administration.
Yeah.
So what's your take on people actually blame leaders for everything that's currently happening?
Yeah.
People who are passing the buck.
No, I think they tended, first, do we know what leadership is? Then we can say, let's go to the address. Really, do you need to elect a competent leader? Do you think elections are competent to produce capable people? Huh? Just conceptually, do you think?
No. Election is just an exercise of putting an X on a particular
so
country.
it's like somebody says, I miss South Africa, I miss world. Oh, okay. So you're the most beautiful. How did you come to that conclusion? Huh? Just say I won a beauty contest. But don't go beyond winning a beauty contest.
Okay, we have Ngolizashe.
Okay, that is funny.
Ngolizashe Moyo is watching on Facebook on Zimbabwe Today Facebook as we live stream. He states that so many brains, but not much development. Where are we wrong?
Brains are one thing. They don't provide service. The brain is locked in your head. Just understand, between your ears, there could be brains. Outside your ears, just remember, people need service. If you're selling a mouse, just sell a mouse. Don't sell your intelligence. Because I don't buy intelligence. Have you ever seen a marketplace where I buy bright people? Then after that, What do I do with them? Huh? I buy problem solvers. So the missionary says, solve problems intelligently. And what happens? They say, my friend, get out of here. It's our country. The educated people are the most what? Exclusive, you know that.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
They are the ones who don't like more the crowds. He has seen one of them come here and say, I want to interview. He looks at him. Interview me. Do you know your place? So they want to interview themselves, ask the questions. They answer their own questions.
And it's the challenge.
Discrimination.
And it's the challenge.
After you elect them for 5 years, you have to ask for an appointment to interview them. When it comes towards the election, they become available.
They can even canvas.
Yeah, and promise
Don't
things.
you don't compare.
Imagine I promise you land. If I become president, you're going to be rich. I'll give you land. Just imagine one country with refugees in the other country, and what happens to that country.
Tatenda Nzira Masanga, he asks, does the older generation appreciate the value of the millennial, or they see us as a threat to their legacies?
That's another apartheid. Who is a millennial? There is now a new class of people. Just because I'm born on this day. You know, the people who change the world are young people. Not because they're young, because they want solutions. But people, there are young people who are stupid. There are older people who are equally stupid. What is the difference between stupidity? Some people say a white person has to be smart because he's white. A young person has to be smart. So the millennium, there is no room for older people to give passageway to young people. Well, I always want to eat at my old age. So if there's something to eat, please don't say old people are excluded. And because I'm a millennial, now I have a new what? Gravitas. No. Solve problems. If you are Facebook, Zuckerberg, give me a book of faces. I will use it. But do you care who Mark Zuckerberg is? You just go and put your details and you are on. You connect your own friends. He makes money without your knowledge. But now the country is what? Facebook, what? Is reaching what? 2 billion people, is it? So it's going to be the largest country in the world without a president. Can you imagine? There's no election in that world. And we're all connected people. Imagine right now, if you look at Zimbabwe today, it's
266 views already.
No, 200,000. 200,000 people who are connected in one community. But they don't have a president. They don't have a visible person. But these guys just keep on adding their numbers. And I think Zimbabwe today, what Leroy was telling me something, that they don't even give you their phone number. You are using a platform and you can't see the person. So my friend, don't talk to me, just go on.
You don't have to know.
No, the logo is me. And why do you want to know me? Imagine that model and we become a million people. Huh? Who are all connected because we share the same hour. Wherever they are, can meet, but then give them purpose. They are not young people. I think what he's asking is that if there is this millennium disease or whatever, then women will ask for something else and say, okay guys, can men open the door for us? Guys, which men have you found with an ATM card to open for others? I swipe, then women can come in. Then that's civilization. No. You pull your work on, whether a woman, whether a man, if you have to hustle, hustle. The guys who came from Europe were hustlers. And imagine that hustle. They left Europe with no promise. I think Zaza always looking there. Zaza, don't you agree? They came with nothing, no promise. They arrived in Africa with no address. Imagine, no GPS. Where are you going? I'm going to Africa. Why? I think the people were a bit slower than me. So when I arrive, I'll be fast. And they've never been disappointed. They were not millennials, these were young people who could see that in Europe things would not work out for them, even if they couldn't marry up, because the other guys would be watching carefully and say, you want to marry my daughter, what the hell are you? So they closed them out. You couldn't meet the rich because their sports is expensive. Imagine you have a golf, you have to what? Before you play, you have to invest. Where is the football? Anyone can kick the ball. It's a democratic sport, but it doesn't work that way. So if you play cricket, it's also very sophisticated. Bowling, imagine just throwing a ball. And then I'm now black. I was on to throw a ball and I'm wearing white. Just a uniform alone. It's enough for your mortgage. So this is a problem. So why do you want to be where you're not wanted? Create your own clubs. Like Zimbabwe today, they said to me, can we what? Can we do this thing together so that this is evangelical. Imagine the first missionary who came. How did the other people know that in Africa they were slow people? What kind of, there was no internet. So it means there was, what mail is it? What would be in that mail? Imagine you arrive in Africa. He says, please, I've arrived here. Come in numbers. What would that message?
And you imagine that it took a ship 3 months from the Cape Colony to Europe.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah. This John Ross took 70 days to arrive. So 30, 60. That's 3 months. Then you have another extra 10 days. And you're still on the road. And these people endured 70 days to come to nothing. So the first email is, I've arrived. If you thought I'm dead, no. But I look around and I see nothing happening. There's no farming. People are running around chasing animals. And they harvest here. They find things are bad. They move to another area. Says, are you serious? Is the animal kingdom? Say, no, they're human beings like me and you. Say, okay. If we include them, what would be the implications of including plagues where the honey is? They all decided, slow down. Give them education, I think they'll be enough to save us. And after 60 years of independence, have we changed? Imagine we have 60 years to account. The first letter that is written, please come to Africa. Don't go to America. This is the real America. So why is it the real America? My friend, if you got a horse, you can ride as far as you can. It's still be your land because there's nothing happening. So, are you serious? Yes. They took horses and pegged. They discovered, actually there was no real disturbance. They kept doing it. But imagine I go to Italy at the same year and I say I'm going to peg. The Italians will say, my friend, you may be white like me, but don't think this is England. Go back. Yeah. Because they have resistance, because they build institutions. Not young institutions, so the millennium, that's fine. But let's look at brand ambassadors, the builders. For us to be here, there are other people like us, but they were maybe wise. But they were thinkers. They loved Africa so much. Imagine, I go and dig and put a foundation. If I imagine I was a missionary, after I take the gold, what do? I take the platinum, what do? I convert the whole earth-moving machinery, that the whole ecosystem. Imagine I'm just looking for 100 carats of gold. You know how much earth I have to remove? just to get that small parcel. When I take it, I put it in a pocket, I move. I can put it in a helicopter and go. But to get that package, it's not easy. It requires capital, it requires knowledge. And these people, then they dig foundation. I take just a tent, is it? After the tent, after I get my gold, where do I fly back to? To Europe. I won't be buried here. What for? But these people left Europe and broke the band, the bands, the band, your family band. They became the first European African with no relatives. The relatives remained in Europe. Those who were doing well said, go ahead. They started building families here. That's why when you say, go back to Europe, he looks at you and says, where is Europe? Huh? I don't know Europe. I'm an African. He arrives in London and says, Mawere, I want to go back home. This is a white person. Where is home? My friend, we have to share the same home. And you look at him, and he's serious. And then you begin to imagine this human sad story. And I say, go home. Where? I have no connection. These guys have no connection with Europe. But they started sometimes with no balance sheet. With the balance sheet created without their input. So when we look at people, let's look them, judge them on the content of their character, not the skin color. Yeah. But how many of us want to believe that white people came from Europe to oppress us? Yes, I think they looked at us as people who were a bit slow. But after education was still slow. Huh? How many educated Africans spend their time on WhatsApp, on this social media? White monopoly capital, can you imagine? Radical this. Yeah?
Economic freedom fight.
That's it. Imagine you have to fight for freedom. I mean, you go to Pick and Pay. What do you do? You go to the point of sale. I want to fight. Surely would you leave home without cash? To fight who? Because if you fight cricket, what is you see on the shelf is not goods, it's money. They call it money in motion. That's a bank. You go to Spar, you go to Checkers, you go to ShopRite. Before you leave home, you must make sure that you what? Your wallet is what? Is organized. Yeah. Your value in plastic, but the money must be in the bank. For you to swipe, if there's no money, what happens to the swiping? It just says, my friend, please take back the goods or just leave them, we'll do it for you. But please next time don't come to tell us how poor you are. Because this is not a conversation, it's a point of sale. Just a point that you have to pass through. So if there is no value, you don't get value. Whether I'm black, I'm white, it doesn't matter. Whether I'm rich or poor, I'm millennial, I'm this, it doesn't matter. So let's look at what matters. So that when we look at this brand ambassadorship, I think that's where the idea is to say, guys, don't stand up and you have no value. Then imagine your brand ambassadors are elected people. Huh? Yeah. And I want a beauty pageant. And I say, guys, I'm the smartest guy from Guinea. Oh, okay. So who are you? I'm the president of Guinea. Okay. So you must know me. Why do I have to know you? Because if you don't know me, nothing happens. And I got the keys to minerals. And if I don't like it, I chase you away. Then you look at the president and say, this election must be very important. You know how many people kill each other? And that's why no one accepts defeat. Because you know what defeat means. You know, for 5 years, imagine he has lost. He's still in your track. My friend, you cheated me. He said, but my friend, I succeeded in cheating you on that point. I'm not saying I'm the most pretty woman. All I'm saying is that on that day, that's what happened. But if we had another election the next day, I could lose. But can you respect that for 5 years? So that I go undisturbed. I just want to live a longer life. But they're already pulling you down. So, and how many people organize and say, why do you want to be in election? Because I'm against the guy who is there. Oh, okay. So when you are in and people are against you, what should they do? That's different. But for now, I just want this guy out. Okay, do you know what he does? Why is he so much a threat to you and he's a prisoner? Have you ever seen a president? Just spend a day with the president. 24 hours and see which second is he free. He's guarded 24/7. If he goes to the toilet, somebody, he has to tell somebody. If he's eating, somebody knows. if he wants to go and pickpocket, they'll stop him.
Oh, you got it. Under surveillance.
Under surveillance, 24 hours, like you're an animal in the zoo. So freedom is so powerful. But how many people want to be less free? I said, my friend, can you be a president? Can you go for election? I said, why did you go?
Yeah, but as much as we find humor, it's really critical matters. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
We're raising important issues.
Absolutely. The only way we can be able to build the Africa we want is by raising these critical issues, these fundamental issues, by having conversations on issues that matter, be it leadership, be it entrepreneurship, be it identity. It really matters. And as for me, the Africa that I want, an Africa that the rule of law takes precedence, and where property rights are respected. That is those are the two fundamental things that actually found me or got me to join the 1873 network, so that I could be better informed. A better informed individual means that they can also make better informed decisions. And if we as individuals, or if individuals are better informed, it means that we can build societies that work for all. We can build institutions that can best serve us. Let's then, from all these individuals that have come before us, the likes of John Fairbairn, the likes of Willie Hoffman, the likes of Cecil John Rhodes, let's not discount them. Let's see what lessons can we draw from them and be able to progress as individuals.
You know, what you mentioned actually is kind of giving me sense with regards to why I joined. It was just to be shifted from my comfort zone, because we're very comfortable. You don't want to discuss issues where you feel like you're going to be exposed. And that's the only way you can actually learn as an individual. Discuss about uncomfortable issues, because that's when you can actually get enlightened. That's when you can actually, get a different perspective to say, oh, so this is how things are. So I just like the fact that, 1873 FM and the TV station is raising such crucial and important issues. So just shift from that. And I remember what Ms. Mawere, you said with regards to critical thinking. Critical is you. Thoughts are very, very personal because you think them. We cannot share thinking, but we can share and we can reason together. We cannot think together, but we can reason together. And I can only understand what you're thinking when you express yourself. So yeah, join in the conversation at mawere.com. Beautiful articles, drop in those comments and views and actually challenge us with regards to the issues that you want us to talk about. This Zimbabwe Today. It's been amazing. It's been a pleasure.
Africa Today with Mawere.
That's what it's Mr. Mawere.
I think, as we said, Africa is the place where we live, no different from Asia, no different from any other place on earth. We come with nothing, we live with nothing. And the moment we claim that which we have not added value to, then we are stealing from the person who gave it.
Sure.
And that person who gave it had a purpose. So when you look at the design of life, itself does not permit human beings to have a better relationship with land, with water, with trees, with anything. Because imagine I had to die today. What will remain of the land? Imagine even those who give land today and give you a 99-year lease. Who is going to live for 99 years as active? So even the design of the list itself suggests something is wrong. Why give me 99 years of life and I'm not going to enjoy it? If I can't transfer that right, if I can't negotiate it, it's not a right. Imagine I give you a car, then I tell you when to drive it. Is that a right?
No.
No. How fast you should drive the car? It's not a right. So we are here to talk about these ambassadors. When we say Africa, what do we stand for? Not against. We know for us to get where we are today, we have to be against something. But now we are here. We are in the world that is every day breaking these barriers. This limited thinking, this kind of thing is, this is mine. This is mine. Imagine people who died 30 years ago, they arrive today and they resurrect. Would they imagine what internet is? Even just to fit into this world that we take for granted. Youngsters who now can talk to the world without leaving their home. And then we want to go back and say, this is my country. Oh, it's too big. Let's not own countries. Just own our lives and our choices. And let's make them a sovereign human being. Because if I want to move this from here to there, I still have to use my hand. Without my hand, this remains here. With my hand, it has motion. So when we don't deal with the motion, we don't deal with life, then we've got a problem. So Zimbabwe today, thank you very much for giving the platform, and remain faceless, and we congratulate you for facelessness, namelessness. Even if you use a fake name, the platform itself, they've educated us on one thing. We don't have to talk to anybody. Somebody will respond to your message without identifying who they are. But without a name, are you human? Imagine the world was robots communicating with themselves. So even Zimbabwe today, please identify yourself, because life is about identity. Let's all identify ourselves, because together we can build something. A quilt only has one common thread, but it ties up different patches. When you look at it, you don't know that there is a thread that connects all these different people. And what is the common thread? It's not the Africanness in us, it's the humanity in us. And that is indivisible. I can't be half a human being and half another. I am a complete person with all the faculties to prosecute life, but not alone, in the context of the many. So that's what life is. So this show really is about life. It's about learning what life promises and what it also limits. Alone, you can't do much. Even all these things we take for granted, they require volume. So let's convert our spend into the promise. If we all spend together and we had an identity in the marketplace, we got the power, but not elected power. Elected power is abuse. Market power is where the value is. So until we meet again, tomorrow we said, let's give not just Zimbabweans, because we don't recognize Zimbabwe. Who is a Zimbabwe? Where do I start to identify one? If you're a human being, stand up. But don't stand up because you are Zimbabwe. Because then you're saying something about how the world should be structured. That we should have silos of Zimbabweans, non-Zimbabweans. So thank you for being part of this conversation. And until tomorrow, keep hope alive.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.